Jerseyans, Brian McGovern again. We're still here in Bergen County, and we had a surprise visit from Senate Republican leader Tom Kean Jr. here. So thanks, Senator, for sitting down with us for a couple minutes. Last time I saw you was actually only a couple weeks ago. It was in Camden County.
Right.
You were helping out for a local race.
Right, Voorhees.
Yes,
right,
in my hometown.
Right.
So, what brings you to Bergen today? It's quite a distance from there, right?
Well, the good thing is my home's in between.
Yes,
so
not mine.
I do get a chance to shower and shave on occasion. But this is an extraordinarily important year on the local level, on the county level, as well as on the state level, because we have a real opportunity to make a real change. The status quo has been killing our state and killing too many communities. And what I've been seeing around the state are people talking about affordability, lowering the tax burden, job creation. Those are the two most important issues that people are talking about, all the way from May County all the way up here now to Bergen County. And I've been going up and down the state helping out municipal candidates, helping out legislative candidates and county candidates, because we need to continue what Governor Christie started at every level of government.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems that no matter what district we're in on a weekend, the voters are all clamoring about the same issues, and it's the taxes, it's the spending, and they're all hoping that Governor Christie and the Republicans can really pull something off this year.
Well, if you want to talk about something that's really pulling people together, it's actually Save Jersey. Because I'm serious, because people see the commonality across the state through your wonderful posts, through the analysis, through the issues that you talk about, the people you bring to the fore, and I think it's really exciting because people see it's personal. They see the videos, they see the posts, they see the insights, and it really just that tries to bring people together, and so people can see that in Voorhees or up here in Bergen County, that a lot of the issues that they feel locally are really statewide issues, and that's why these elections are so important. So you've done a great job to sort of do the ties that bind.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. You're too kind to us. But up here in 38, I mean, it's no secret, 38 is probably the biggest opportunity for Republican pickup. It's not the only opportunity, but it's probably the biggest for the Senate. What would a victory here in 38 for John Driscoll and some of the other more competitive districts mean for the Senate caucus and Governor Christie's reform agenda?
Well, the likelihood of success for real transformative change is much more likely if we pick up Senate seats for the Republicans, especially if we gain the majority. Because what people are starting to see is to create jobs, you need to lower the tax burden, you need to create more predictability, and you need to inject a lot more common sense into the policies that come out of Trenton. Over the course of the last decade, we had 115 tax increases. That drove families and businesses out of the state, made the state much more unaffordable. We had policies that really expanded the size and the scope and the purpose of government in ways that didn't make a lot of sense. And that hurt, people wanted to create small businesses. We were the 50th out of 50 on the Small Business Survivability Index for years over the last decade. And Governor Christie's now starting to change that. And so a energized and now an expanded Republican caucus will say we can put more common sense reforms through, whether they be continue to build on reforms like pension health benefits reform that we put on, or the 2% cap on property taxes, the hundreds of millions of dollars of tax reductions, the job creation measures, the great Supreme Court Justice Ann Patterson. I mean, these are all tremendous successes that would not have been possible without a united effort by the Republican caucus, with the Assembly with Alex Gross, with my Senate colleagues, and under the leadership of Governor Chris Christie. That leadership needs to continue, and by picking up seats here in Bergen County and in other counties across the state, we'll be able to do a much more aggressive common sense agenda that will make New Jersey more affordable.
Okay. Speaking of, you were talking about the 115 million or 115 new taxes that the Democrats have voted in. I saw a lot of press releases in the last couple of days about pretty much every single GOP Senate candidate getting a nod as a taxpayer champion by the New Jersey Taxpayers Alliance. What exactly does that mean, and why are we getting it over the Democrats pretty much?
Well, when you look at some of the big changes that have occurred. Pension and health benefits reform, for example, which is one of those changes that has $217 million of real savings this year for taxpayers, additional health benefit savings. These are real reforms that are happening now in real time. So we are driving the cost of property taxes down for citizens across the state. And that is being recognized now. Every single Republican in the Senate and in the General Assembly voted for those pension and health benefits reform. We were leading the charge on those types of reforms that made long-term and short-term sense. But only a third of the Democratic caucus, 1/3 of each of the caucuses in the Senate and the Assembly, voted for those far-reaching reforms. So the majority of the Democratic candidates, including Bob Gordon,
right,
supported the status quo. And so there's a real contrast, especially here in Bergen County, between people who support the status quo, which is what has made our state unaffordable, has made the job market uncompetitive, has hurt families' ability to stay in their homes and in this state, and what John Driscoll is bringing to the table of lowering his own salary as a freeholder, creating more optimism and energy, and bringing the cost of government down to the freeholder board, refusing to increase taxes. I mean, this is a person that we need to have as an ally in Trenton, making sure that the right policies, the common sense policies, are getting done on behalf of the citizens of this county.
Right. Kind of the beginning there kind of led me into my next question. I mean, this was a very big year with pension reform and a few of the toolkit, arbitration reform, things like that passing. I mean, the pension reform, like you said, it saved over $200 million this year alone, and there were so many Democrats that were against that, especially in the Senate. Now, I believe that we're going to come out of this year with a few more GOP senators in New Jersey.
Absolutely.
And there are so many issues that are on the horizon that, it's election time, so everyone's kind of buckling down on that. But we have education reform. We have more Supreme Court nominees that are going to have to go through at some point, and more of the toolkit. I mean, people are still asking for more property tax relief because we do need it. What is going to be the next thing that the Senate GOP caucus pushes for, especially when it has more members come January?
Well, my hope is we can push things through before January. And even in November and December, my hope and expectation is that we can push through we need to change the thought process on education, where money can no longer be defined as equaling success, because simply throwing more money at a problem doesn't necessarily make your a successful conclusion to that problem.
Shown that.
and exactly, we've shown that in this state for 30 years. And so what we have to change the focus is one from a money solution to one on an achievement solution. So how do we change it so that these students are coming out of high school prepared either directly to go into the job market or to go pursue higher education?
Right.
And one of the startling statistics that we're seeing now is that of the 9th graders who entered the Newark public school system this year, 23% of those students are going to graduate in 4 years. 23%. Of those 23% that graduate, 90% are going to need remedial assistance if they go on to college. And that's for $24,000 a student. So we need to change the dynamic from a money point to an achievement point, and in the end have a situation where we can have the best possible education system in our state, in every single zip code, at a price that's affordable for the taxpayers. And that's the conversation, and that's the fight that we're going to be engaged in very quickly after this election cycle.
I mean, education reform is a multi-legged, beast, if you will. I mean, what piece of legislation do you think would be a good starting point as far as the whole package of education reform is concerned?
What we first need to do is make sure that good teachers who do the job well are rewarded, and that those teachers who are not doing a good job are not protected in the way that they are now. So the first step is to change the system and still provide protections, the appropriate protections for people who are doing a good job on behalf of the students and their families and the education system.
Right.
But also say for those individuals that are not doing a good job, let's have a real focus to say, are you doing a good job? How can we, if you're not doing a good job, how can we improve your ability to do a good job? What additional
Right.
type of training? So it's not just an assessment basis. It's an ongoing skill set so we can continue to attract the best and the brightest into the teaching profession. But also say, if you need help in this regard, here's a way to become a master teacher. Here's a way to become, additional opportunities for you to improve your ability to teach. But we need to change that system first. And I think that's going to be one of the areas we're going to focus on.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up any more time. I know you're going to be going out and knocking doors with Driscoll today.
We're knocking on doors with John Driscoll today. The other Senate seat that we're going to pick up is down in District 2 in Atlantic County.
Yes, yeah.
With Vince Policy, and I'll be going down there later this week to make sure we have continued focus on that Senate seat, because Vince is now in the Assembly. He's going to win that Senate seat. I'm going to spend more time in District 14, which is Mercer and Middlesex County, and I'll be also going down to District 1.
Right.
Where we've got Dave DeWeese is doing an extraordinary job taking on an incumbent. And we've got real opportunities for victories all across the state, because people are tired of the status quo. And we need to focus on achievement, affordability, we need to focus on job creation, and that's a great contrast between the candidates who are running as Republicans this year and their Democratic status quo opponents.
Right. I mean, our readers know that we've been following District 1 and 2 very heavily.
You have
we think those are
You've been out in the lead.
Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming.
You guys have been.
We've been working on some great things for the next coming weeks, so I'm glad to hear you're going to be down there helping out.
You guys have been doing the tip of the spear stuff that's important.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
us. And,
Welcome north.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hope to run into you again on the campaign trail. Thanks, Save Jerseys.
Thank you.